After watching this video, you must complete the online training certification survey for this training. The link is provided in the video description box. You are not eligible to sponsor the Summer Food Service Program until the survey has been submitted for every training video. All training and certification surveys must be completed by the sponsor administrator every year they operate the Summer Food Service Program. Welcome to the recorded training Summer Food Service Program, an overview. Who does the Summer Food Service Program serve? Hunger is a problem in the summer months for many children. The Summer Food Service Program, also known as the SFSP, allows children 18 and under to receive free meals during the summer months from sponsors who participate on the USDA SFSP. Also eligible to participate are persons less than or equal to 21 years old who are physically or mentally disabled and participating in a public or nonprofit private school program established for children with these disabilities. The SFSP is available to all children without regard to race, color, national origin, gender, age, or disability. Feeding kids in the summer helps keep them healthy and ready to learn when school is back in session. Oversight of the program. The Summer Food Service Program is regulated by the United States Department of Agriculture based on 7 CFR Part 225. USDA passes down the oversight of this program to state agencies, which is OSPI in Washington. When a sponsor applies to participate, OSPI passes down the oversight of the program to a sponsoring organization, known as a sponsor. Your organization is the sponsor, and each meal location you oversee is called a site. Who can sponsor the SFSP? Public school districts, private nonprofit schools, units of local, municipal, county, tribal, or state government, private nonprofit organizations, public or private nonprofit camps, public or private nonprofit universities or colleges. Additionally, sponsors must have not been previously terminated or considered seriously deficient from any USDA child nutrition program, provide a year-round service, serve children from low-income households, attend training and provide training to all meal program staff, conduct a nonprofit food service operation, and demonstrate financial viability and administrative capability. Private nonprofits must have tax-exempt status under the IRS Code of 1986. Churches are exempt. Failure to comply with this IRS code means you do not hold nonprofit status and are not eligible to participate in the SFSP. CACFP sponsors cannot establish separate tax IDs to serve the same children unless there is a legitimate need for a separate organization or the programs have sufficient differences in activities and management. SFSP sponsors have a variety of responsibilities throughout the planning and operation of the program. These responsibilities include the following: attend annual SFSP training and provide SFSP training to all program staff. Plan and manage budget for the program, including food costs, employee wages and benefits, supply costs, etc. Conduct 3 monitoring visits at each SFSP site during the operation of the program. Plan and oversee the preparation or delivery of meals that meet meal pattern requirements. Maintain clean and safe food preparation and/or meal service sites that meet food safety standards. Maintain records of daily meal preparation, such as menus, recipes, receipts, and/or production records. Maintain daily and monthly meal count records collected at each site and ensure appropriate meal count practices are being followed. File a monthly claim for meal reimbursement using the online claiming system. What is a meal site? A site is the physical location approved by OSPI where a meal service is offered to children. It must be located in an area or part of a program determined to be low income, with a few exceptions. Doing so satisfies the requirement to serve children from low-income households. Sponsors are responsible for overseeing the sites they sponsor. A closed, enrolled for-profit site or a for-profit camp are not eligible to participate on the SFSP. There are 4 types of sites a sponsor can have: open, closed, camp, and migrant. Each is identified on this slide. Some sponsors only have one site, others have multiple sites. It is your choice about the type of sites you sponsor. Please note that while there are other ways to determine site eligibility, we are only covering the ways in which 99% of the sites are determined eligible. If your site does not qualify based on this information, call the SFSP supervisor or your SFSP specialist who will work with you on the other ways to possibly qualify your site. Let's take a look at open sites and how eligibility is determined. An open site feeds any child 18 and under who comes for a meal. Children participating in the meal service are not required to be enrolled in your enrichment or activity program. The most common way to qualify an open site is through area eligibility data. Area eligibility can be used to determine site eligibility when a site is located in the attendance area of an eligible school or located in a high-poverty area. If school data will be used to determine area eligibility, the site must be located in the attendance area of an eligible school. Eligible schools are those where 50% or more of enrolled students are eligible for free and reduced price meals. All schools have physical boundaries assigned to them that inform the public of which school their children will be assigned based on the address where the child lives. This is called an attendance area. There are a couple of ways to determine the attendance area. First, you can call the transportation department of the school district in which the site is located. Ask them what elementary, middle, and high schools are assigned to the physical address of the site. Second, in metropolitan areas, many school districts have built a website for the public to use instead of calling the transportation office. Once you know the attendance area schools for your site, you would look at the area eligibility report to see if any of the schools have a free and reduced price enrollment percentage of 50% or greater. If at least one does, then the site qualifies using school data. Note that this report is also commonly referred to as the October Building Data Report. Census data can also be used to determine area eligibility. The USDA has developed a mapping tool called the Area Eligibility Mapper that allows you to enter a site address to determine if the location is eligible using census data. This mapping tool is updated annually on October 1st by the USDA based on information they receive from other federal agencies. This allows sponsors to begin planning for the following summer very early in the year. Using the Area Eligibility Mapper is very simple. Just go to the website, wait for it to fully load, then enter the site address and press Enter. The tool will then locate the site. Using the legend on the mapper will inform you whether the site location is area eligible or not. Pink means eligible and blue means not eligible. If the site is in a pink area, you need to copy the page in color, then submit the image in an email to the SFSP program specialist or program supervisor. Both of these tools are located on the Reports section of the OSPI Child Nutrition Services website. Now let's talk about closed enrolled sites. There are 3 common ways to qualify a closed enrolled site. through area eligibility data, income eligibility data, and a district-verified roster. There are a few things you need to know about closed enrolled sites. First, a closed enrolled site offers a meal program only to a specific group of children. The children must be enrolled in the program in order to receive a meal. Second, a closed enrolled site qualifies if at least 50% of the enrolled children are eligible for free and reduced price school meals. Third, a closed enrolled site is closed to the public. Only enrolled children can participate in the meal service. Lastly, a school site offering academic or enrichment activities to school children cannot be a closed enrolled site. There are 3 common ways to qualify a closed enrolled site: by income eligibility, school district roster verification, or area eligibility data. First, you can qualify a closed enrolled site based on each child's household income. This is accomplished the same way as schools, by using a confidential income statement. You can download the confidential income statement document from the OSPI SFSP website. If at least 50% of the enrolled children are determined to be eligible for free and reduced price meals, then the site qualifies to participate as an enrolled site. Note that to claim meals each day, the site must have at least 50% free and reduced price eligible enrolled children in attendance. Typically, the site determines initially that it qualifies to participate. If the qualification is based on 60% or more of the children eligible for free or reduced price meals, you will redetermine eligibility for each month that you will be claiming meals. However, if the site determines initially that it qualifies to participate based on less than 60% or more of the children eligible for free or reduced price meals, you will need to make sure that for any given day you have at least 50% free and reduced price eligible children in attendance. Second, you can qualify a closed enrolled site based on school district roster verification. That is, you will need to send a roster containing all the children who are enrolled to the school district. In turn, the district will identify how many of the children on the roster are eligible for free or reduced price meals. They will note on the roster the number of children who are eligible for free or reduced price meals, sign it, and return it to you. You will then divide the number of verified students by the total number of enrolled children. If it is 50% or more, the site qualifies to participate. You will do this each month you plan to claim meals. Notice, I mentioned a third common way to qualify a closed enrolled site: by area eligibility. If all the children enrolled in the site are from the immediate local area, you may determine eligibility the same way you would for an open site, by using school data or census data. Did you know that when area eligibility is used to qualify an open or closed site, the site remains qualified to participate based on the data for 5 consecutive participation years? That means no matter what happens with new data in the next 4 years, it remains qualified. However, the site must participate without a break in summers. If there is a break, eligibility must be reestablished using current area eligibility data. Please note that you do not need to update the data on the site application in WINS unless you have a strong suspicion that the school data will fall below 50% in the next year. If the site does not qualify using area eligibility, contact OSPI to explore other options. These options may include using housing data, BIA data, among other less common options. Now let's talk about camps. There are 2 types of camps: day camps, and residential camps. You may offer something that you call a day camp, but is actually considered a closed enrolled site on the summer food service program. Camps are different than closed enrolled sites in that they offer a regularly scheduled food service as a part of the program. As such, the campsite can claim meal reimbursement only for those children who are determined income eligible. However, all children must be offered the same meal. Camps may charge a meal service fee for non-eligible children to offset the cost of serving those children meals. Now let's talk about migrant sites. Migrant sites primarily serve children of migrant workers. This does not mean that non-migrant children cannot participate in a meal service at this type of site. It just means that most of the children at this location are migrant workers' children. The main reason a sponsor would decide to identify a site as a migrant site is so that 3 meal types can be offered per day. All other site types, except camps, can offer no more than 2 meal types per day. Site eligibility is determined by obtaining documentation from the Oversight migrant organization that certifies that the site primarily serves children of migrant workers. The document must be signed and dated. We prefer that the document be on letterhead. Let's see if you can apply what we just learned. Here is the scenario. This site can serve meals for 250 children, but are not sure exactly how many will show up each day. Lunch and afternoon snack will be served. Physical and enrichment activities are offered between the meal services only for the children enrolled for those activities. What type of site is this? This is most likely an open site, but it could be a closed enrolled site. With the exception of camps and migrant sites, up to 2 meals, breakfast, lunch, supper, or snacks, can be served daily at SFSP sites and be claimed for reimbursement by the sponsor at a set rate. Lunch and supper meals cannot be claimed on the same day. Visit the OSPI Child Nutrition Services webpage for the Summer Food Service Program to find the claims and reimbursement rates for the program. Every year, USDA publishes updated manuals for this program. We have a link to the most recent version of the handbooks in the Helpful Links section of the SFSP website. Almost everything you will need to know about how to administer and operate the SFSP is contained in these handbooks. Please read them at least once annually. If you have questions about the SFSP, review your SFSP guidebooks, particularly the Administration Guide. Most of the information you need to apply for and operate the SFSP can be found in these books. If you cannot find an answer to your questions, please contact OSPI Child Nutrition Services at 360-725-6200, and we would be happy to help. Thanks for your interest in feeding kids this summer. After watching this video, you must complete the online training certification survey for this training. The link is provided in the video description box. You are not eligible to sponsor the SFSP until the survey has been submitted for every training video. All trainings and certification surveys must be completed by the sponsor administrator every year they operate the SFSP.